Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City of Southfield special regular meeting of the Planning Commission with a long-range study meeting to follow. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Spence, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Goodwin-Dye.
Present.
Ms. Bernuti.
Present.
Mr. Griffiths.
Here.
Mr. Huntington.
Present.
Mr. Martin.
Present.
Dr. Stevens-Gunn.
Present.
And Mr. Willis is excused this evening. Madam Chair, you have a quorum to conduct business this evening.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our commissioners have had an opportunity to review our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
Support.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Goodwin-Dye and second by Commissioner Martin that we approve the agenda for this evening. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Mr. Spence, is there any announcements or communications?
I have none at this time.
Okay. We held a public hearing for PZR ODD 22-0002 on July the 27th. However, Mr. Spence, would you like to share some background?
Yes, ma'am. So just to familiarize the Planning Commission with the item before you, PZR ODD 22-0002. So I'll go through the presentation. Again, the petitioner is here this evening. Just give them an opportunity again, because this is a public hearing and it is being broadcast, the opportunity then to explain their project a little bit, and then we can go from there. So again, this is PZR ODD 22-0002. It's a rezoning request for an overlay development district. The petitioner is Friedman Real Estate Group for the property located at 27400 Northwestern Highway. The zoning of the property is currently B3 general business, and this property is ODD eligible. Proposal again is to rezone the property to overlay development district with a master development plan for mixed use, as well as the approval for the phase 1 site plan for the conversion of the existing building to storage with mixed use on the first floor, and then any future phases would need site plan approval from the Planning Commission and City Council in the future as those phases come up. So this is the property in question. Again, this is the old Plant Moran building. Existing zoning and the future land use. Existing conditions of the building. Again, it is a multiple story building with parking lots both to the east and to the west. Existing conditions on the north side. And again, we're showing this image because if you recall at the meeting on the 27th when this first came before you, it was noted that there would be a change to the plan, and the entrance to the particular building to allow access to the storage units would be on the north side. So we did this just to kind of give you an idea of what the north side currently looks like. Existing condition of the building and the master development plan. Again, phase 1 from master development plan is the conversion of the existing building to a storage facility with first floor retail. Second and third phases would be for potential for medical office, as well as potential in the third phase for an assisted living facility. That's the phasing plan I just discussed. And then the phase 1 site plan. And this is a closer look and enlargement of that phase 1. It does include pedestrian connections from from the service drive up to the building, as well as that new drop-off area on the north side of the building for entrance to the facility for patrons of the storage facility, as well as parking there as well. Landscape plan for the property. and the storage facility floor plan. You'll see the top portion of the slide does include that first floor. That does include the various retail spaces that are being proposed. The area on the west-hand side or on the left side could actually be split into 3 separate spaces should there be uses that could use 3 separate areas. And then on the right-hand side, that blue area is basically the office that also provides for the sale of moving type materials like boxes and tape and such. North loading area along with its elevation, and a rendering of that north loading area showing the extent of the area available for patrons to use. There's also a proposal for an awning over that particular area to keep people out of the elements. Storage facility elevations, north, south, east, and west. This is the potential second phase for the medical office building and its floor plan, as well as its elevations. And the potential for the phase 3 assisted living with its floor plans, all 4 floors, and its elevations. Renderings, should this property be built out completely, potential for what this site would end up looking like, with a couple of other options as well. With that, the petitioner is here this evening. Again, just kind of give them an opportunity, not only for the Planning Commission, but any public that might be listening, the extent of their proposal.
And please share your name and your address.
Good evening. Warren Hudson, Friedman Management Company, 34975 West 12 Mile Road, Farmington Hills, Michigan. Warren? Yes. Sure. Yes, sorry about that. Thank you very much, Mr. Spence, for the introduction. Obviously, we've been here in front of you before on this case. I think we've addressed all the questions and concerns that everyone has had, but I'm here with our architect, Mr. Peter Stuhlreier, so I'm going to turn it over to him. But we thank you for hearing the case tonight, and we particularly thank you for putting us first. Thank you very much.
Hello again. My name is Peter Stuhlreier, Design House Architecture, 3300 Auburn Road, Auburn Hills, Michigan. And thank you for having us back this time to hear our case about the ODD and building conversion for the property. I just want to summarize. I know you're all very familiar with the project. Just to give a 30,000-foot overview to kind of rephrase what's happening here. The building is a vacant office building. It was built with tremendous structural capacity, and while marketing the building, it was found that there was a very high demand in the radius for climate-controlled interior self-storage. By going with the ODD and providing a mixed-use site plan versus a single-use corporate office building, we're able to incorporate mixed use because of the extra space on the parking lots to either side of the building. So office takes a tremendous amount of parking, and other mixed-use commercial ideas such as retirement home or assisted living, medical office require far less parking, especially self-storage. Self-storage requires very little parking. So by approving a plan to allow this structurally capable 4-story building to be climate-controlled self-storage, you're opening up the market for the rest of this property to be energized by much more active and usable parcels within the ODD. With that said, I think we all understand the physics of it, and it's three parcels, it's 3 phases. We're asking for approval for phase 1. It does have mixed-use component within. With that said, I would open it up to any other questions or comments. And I would like to say that Commissioner Martin's comments about the trees, we have assured the site plan has the replacement trees required for those 5 that come down off the back, and that the plan already had the bollards for the backing into that loading area. The rendering did not show the bollards. In my pocket, I have both of those things to put into Terry and Jeff's inbox tonight. So those issues are closed, I believe.
Yeah, if I may, through the chair to the commission, and I believe that Dr. Stevens-Gunn had already mentioned it, a public hearing was already held on this item, so there's no need to hold another public hearing, as we did that already on July 27th. So I would just ask that the chair just open it up to the comments of the commission and then render a decision on this item this evening. Thank you.
Commissioner Bernuti?
Thank you. I would like to first of all thank you for the additional information you just provided. I have no additional questions, and I fully support this. Thank you.
Commissioner Goodwin-Dye?
No questions.
Commissioner Martin?
Aye. Initially, when I looked at today's plan, I thought that there were 3 doors added, but I see that they were on the prior display, so I have no questions, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Griffiths?
I like the idea that by converting a large office building that's not very desirable currently to a different use, the remainder of the site is open up to mixed-use opportunity. That's what I think the best part of this development is. I understand those are future phases, but I'm in favor of this phase 1 approval so that the opportunity to develop the rest of the site exists. And I think when the whole thing's built out, it's going to be a very nice project.
Commissioner Huntington?
I think this rezoning request is good for the city of Southfield. It's consistent with the master plan, and it's compatible with other uses in the area.
Planner Crowd?
Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about trends in the master plan discussion after this item, but this goes to show that we have an overabundance of office space, and we have overabundance of different classes of office space, and having adaptive reuse, encouraging higher density, mixed use, and it's sustainable because what we don't want is the building to end up in a landfill. So the overlay development district gives us that flexibility to be creative and, as Peter said, energize a site that is currently vacant and underdeveloped. And that also goes to show how ridiculous some of the parking standards were for previous office, when you can add 2 new buildings and still have sufficient sufficient parking. And hopefully these newer buildings will utilize more green technology and be more energy efficient than the older buildings were. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments by the commission?
No.
My final comment is that I happened to ride through Southfield today, and I happened to pass by that facility, and I was encouraged knowing that in the future that's going to be some, as Commissioner Griffith says, some new development there. So it's encouraging to see that there are businesses that are willing to continue to reside in Southfield, as well as to use these the ODD tools in order to enhance existing facilities. So we commend you for that, and we're looking forward to it. With that, is there a recommendation?
Yes, Madam Chair. The Planning Department recommends favorable consideration of PZR ODD 22-0002 to rezone property to ODD Overlay Development District with underlying B3 General Business, along with the accompanying Phase 1 site plan, and create a master development plan and agreement to allow for the conversion of the existing site for mixed use for the following reasons. Proposal will be consistent with the surrounding zoning classifications is in accordance with the Southfield Comprehensive Master Plan that indicates regional mixed use for this parcel. Proposal utilizing ODD Overlay Development District provisions with underlying B3 General Business will allow the petitioner to market the property for redevelopment with mixed-use land uses compatible with the abutting adjacent developments, and will allow for development flexibility in accordance with the ODD development agreement. Proposed rezoning will not have adverse effects upon any of the adjoining zonings or land uses. The petitioner is to work with the planning department and city attorney to finalize the overlay development district development agreement, and the petitioner will need to seek approval of the Phase 2 and Phase 3 site plans from the Planning Commission and City Council when they are ready to move forward. Thank you.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Through the chair, I'd like to make a motion for favorable consideration for PZRODD 22-0002.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Huntington and second by Commissioner Martin that we accept the favorable recommendation for PZRODD 22-0002. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Spence, I don't think we have any site plans. We don't have any approval of minutes. Is there any public comment at this time? If there's any public comment? Public comment? Public comment? Mr. Spence, is there any miscellaneous?
None at this time, ma'am.
Given that there's no miscellaneous, I'd like to adjourn the meeting, the regular meeting, the special regular meeting at 6:48.